And this is the most important piece of the puzzle for you to consider. Howdy team, in today's episode, I want to talk to you about the mortgage advisor career path. Must you go and get more qualifications? Must you go from mortgage to insurance to wills to investments to pensions? Or is there another route? Is there something bigger that you need to consider? And I know there is. There's something more important than examinations in my values. And this is the most important piece of the puzzle for you to consider. Now, if we go right back to how somebody should join the industry, if you're watching this or listening to this and you're new to the mortgage industry or you want to get into the mortgage industry, my personal belief in terms of a normal, perhaps career path that you would first consider would be, getting your CeMap examinations or getting an administration job and then getting your CeMap qualifications and then going from administrator into GI advisor, home insurance, landlord's insurance, because that gives you a much better sale understanding. It's a product that must be sold. From GI, you can then grow into insurance. From insurance, that's life insurance, critical illness, income protection. From insurance, you can then grow into mortgages. From mortgages, you could bolt on wills. From then, you could potentially bolt on the pensions and the investments and those qualifications as well. Now, this is the thing. On that note, I'm a huge, huge fan of doing GI, then insurance, then mortgages. Why? Because if you start with mortgages, you will never prioritize the insurance as well, and you will never prioritize the GI. But the insurance income will make up 60% of your own personal income. The GI is a reason to speak to your client every single year. How are you doing? How's life? Your home insurance is coming up for renewal. What's happened? Oh, I had another baby. Oh, what's happened? We're thinking about moving. Oh, I was talking to my friend last week who wanted to move home and your name came up in conversation. Gives you a reason and an excuse to chat to your client every single year. Not to mention with the GI, okay, it's only £100 per policy. You do one of those every single week. You made $5,000 this year. 80% of those will go and renew in year 2. What does that then mean? Next year, you've got £9,000 now coming in, and it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows and it grows. And it's residual income. It's guaranteed income. It adds value to your business. So that's the ideal journey, I believe, for someone coming into the mortgage industry in today's day and age that is massively different from when I started. When I was trained at the Woolwich, Alexander Hall, Connells, we were sat down in a room. We only had one lender's product to offer, or we had a really condensed panel of mortgage lenders and also insurance companies. So it meant that I didn't have to worry about learning mountains and mountains and mountains of products and lenders and criteria like you do if you first become a broker. And here's the thing. That enables you to get fast track on your results. That enables you to have the time and the freedom to have the conversation about the mortgage and then have the conversation about the insurance. Therefore, not leaving money on the table, therefore doing the best service for your client, therefore getting better referrals, better recommendations, working smarter rather than harder. So going back to the point of this post, that's a little bit in terms of the journey that I believe someone joining the industry should go on now. Now, however long you've been in the industry, whether it's 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, doesn't make any difference. You should continually be growing. Now, that growth can be in personal development. That can be in knowledge. That can be being a 1 to 3 person team where collectively you are that one advisor that does have the GI, the insurance, the mortgage, the pension, the will, all taken care of in your small little nice lifestyle business. The other side of what can happen is your business growth. So you can grow your knowledge and you can continue to go and get exams and you can continue to grow through that. Or you can make the decision like I did in 2017, where I knew that I didn't want to advise. I knew that I wanted to focus on marketing, strategy, team building, leverage, direction, social media, content marketing, bringing in 5 leads that could go to 5 advisors, and we could do 5 times the amount of business. I have no desire to do any more qualifications or any more examinations. They are not high on my values. So here's the important thing. This has been sparked from a message that I received from somebody on Instagram asking about career path, the journey that they should be going on. I said, there's a step before that you haven't even considered. And that step is, what do you actually want your life to be like? Before you make a decision on the career path that you're going to go down, the journey that you want to embark upon, whether you're starting out, whether you're 5 years in, it makes no difference. What does your ideal day look like? What are your top 4 or 5 values that are most important to you? And make sure you live and breathe those, and make sure that actually what you're doing on a day-to-day basis is congruent with those. So one of my highest values from building a business that I absolutely hated in 2015, that had me trapped in an office 13 hours a day, 6 days a week, pretty much, is time. I've got 3 kids under 9. I want to be around for them. Because of the pandemic, I was able to build a home office. I now see my little boy more than I've ever seen my first child, who's now 9, who I was back to work 3 days after she was born. Time is the most important commodity and asset to me. So I focus on how can I create more time. For me, if I go and get more examinations, that's just going to create less time because I've got to do more work. If I continue to advise day to day, I don't have freedom and choice, which is my second values. Choice of what I do with my time, when I choose to do it, with whom I want to do it. So having that choice and having that freedom to make that decision is really high on my values. So therefore, those 2 things, how do I create more time? How do I create more choice and freedom to do the things that I want? I build my business and my career around that. Growth is my third. That's growth in bank balance. That's growth in the gym or the exercise or the energy that I project. That's growth in my knowledge. That's growth for my clients. That's just helping other people to grow, bringing the best out of them, making other people perform much, much better. And then variety. That's another big one for me, variety. I get so bored if I do the same thing over and over again. I like variety. I like chopping and changing throughout the course of the day. I like to be focusing on one thing one day, another thing the other day, but all moving forward and in the direction of growth. So when you sit down and you actually understand that, what do you want your life to be like? What are your core values? You can then start to build the business and the career and the lifestyle that supports it. Exams and qualification mean nothing to me because the growth and the knowledge comes from real world experience. The same way that CeMap, the Certificate of Mortgage Advice and Practice examinations teach you nothing about doing the job. It's practical application. That is where my skill is actually spent best. Are you somebody who learns from a book and then implements, or are you a practical learner and applier? When you understand that and you gain that experience and you focus on that knowledge every single day, you have a superpower. Everybody has something that they are better than everybody else at, that they enjoy more than anything else. And the more you focus on that on a day-to-day basis, the more results you get in your business. That can be coaching, that can be speaking to clients. Most salespeople are crap at administration. So your best bet is to get rid of that as quickly as you can because you can focus more on the sales. Now, it's understanding those real important things. And I'm seeing it all the time. I've spoken to thousands and thousands of mortgage advisors since 2019, when I launched the podcast, when I launched my coaching and mentoring business, Financial Pro, and having had those conversations, it really stresses me out and causes me anxiety to a degree for you, that you can have a great income, you can have a great life, you can grow a decent business, but with a huge amount of sacrifice. You work 6-day weeks and 13-hour days. You miss out on time with your family. You don't go and take the dog for a walk. You don't go horse riding. You let your health and your energy disappear. You put on weight. You don't focus on actually living your life and building a business that supports your life. And this comes from, I say it causes me anxiety and it causes me stress. It's only because in 2015, that's exactly how I felt, building a 7-figure insurance brokerage, spending thousands and thousands of pounds on leads every single month. And yes, I had a nice life. We've got the house that we now live in. We had fantastic cars on the drive. But for what? I was back to work 3 days after my first daughter was born. Luckily, my wife, I say luckily, that's a horrendous thing to say, but you'll get my point. Luckily, my second child was born from a home birth and we had a cesarean. So I had to take 2 weeks off of work. Obviously, that part of it wasn't lucky, but it forced my hand into, you must be at home, Gary, to look after your missus, look after the 2 kids and do that kind of stuff. And that started to adjust where I was at. And then I think in the August of 2018, I read Life Leverage by Rob Moore. And I thought, why the hell am I still in the office till 7 o'clock at night? Immediately, I changed it and I started coming home at 5 p.m. because my girls at that point were old enough to sit around the table and have a conversation and have dinner. Now, that doesn't mean that I haven't still worked till 7, 8 o'clock some evenings. That doesn't mean that I haven't still done some weekends. But the focus has been very much, as I always talk about, short-term pain for long-term gain. A sprinter can only sprint under 10 seconds for 100 meters. The 200 would not be the same speed. In order to do the under 10-second sprint again, they would need 3 to 5 times the amount of rest. You cannot sprint every single day. And if you have a business at the moment that isn't supporting your lifestyle, that you're thinking about this career path of qualifications, of getting more products that you can offer to one client, but you're not thinking about the day-to-day of what you want your life to be like, of what is most important to you in your life, then you are going to risk failure. You're going to risk stress. You're going to risk your livelihood, doing more of what you love with who you love. So it's absolutely vital that if you're feeling any of the stresses that I've mentioned today, you've got to make a change. If you are still in the same position now as you were 3, 6, 9, 12 months ago, when are you going to get off the hamster wheel? When are you going to stop spinning those plates? When are you going to actually turn around and say enough is enough and make that change in your business? Having a career path is absolutely fantastic. Variety is one of my highest values. It's why I have a collective team of 32 currently and 4 businesses, because I like variety. But they're all centered around one core theme, which is the financial services industry, around the financial services products. So if I can give you one thing to do today, if you're thinking about your career path, you're thinking about where you want to go. We can't predict the next 3, 5, 10 years. Look at what happened as a result of the pandemic. In a click of a finger, it was gone and it was over and it was done. So you have to make a decision on what you want your life to be like first. You have to focus on your values. And if you are struggling, if you are feeling the pain like I was in 2015, if you are missing out on family time, if you're working all the hours that God sends, if you don't have enough time in your day to manage more leads, if you're feeling stressed or frustrated, then all you got to do is reach out for help. You need to get control of your time management. You need to allocate time to work on the business rather than in the business. You no doubt need to add some structure to your day, and you need some habits and some routines and some accountability to make sure that you stick to them. And you probably need to learn to say no to a few people or a few clients. When you start doing that, it will absolutely change the game for you. Manage your time, add some structure, learn to say no. Start working smarter rather than working harder. I'd love to help you on that journey. And as always, you can reach out to me through any social media channel. You can comment on any post. You can DM me on Instagram. You can contact me by any means. You know where I am on all social media channels. My passion is to help mortgage and insurance advisors to attract your ideal client, to improve your systems and your processes, to increase your sales so that you can do more of the things that you love with who you love, when you love, without having to figure it all out on your own, without the stress, without the overwhelm, without the hassle, without the aggravation. So I hope this message has inspired you that your career path is what you want it to be based on the lifestyle that you want to live. I've got some exciting interviews coming up, which are going to absolutely blow your mind. We've got an expert in cryptocurrency and NFTs. We've got a couple of people on PR and branding. We've got some real awesome stuff coming your way to make sure that you are inspired, motivated, educated. And as always, now's the time to become pro.